All right, we're still a little early, but we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order to get through our business. So I'm going to go ahead and call the regular Planning Commission meeting for July 7th, 2026 at 2 p.m. to order. Why don't we do a roll call?
Commissioner Baugh? Commissioner Hall?
Here.
Commissioner McElina? Commissioner Rigsby?
I'm here.
Commissioner Byers?
Here.
Commissioner Kelly?
Here.
Commissioner Eby?
Here. Oh, thank you.
Cool. It sounds like we have a quorum. At this point, I'll ask if anybody has a conflict of interest to go ahead and declare it for any of the items we're covering today.
No, I have none.
Jacob, I have the first item that I'm going to recuse myself because I was in the notification zone.
Okay, yeah, if you'll just step out during that section. Thank you so much. All right, no others. We'll move to certification of compliance with Resolution 2026-01.
Thank you, Chairman Rigsby. I certify this meeting has been notified in accordance with Resolution 2026-01 and in compliance with Section 54-93 of the Village Municipal Code.
Thanks. All right, let's move to approval of agenda.
I move that we approve the agenda for July 7th, 2026.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Who was the second? I apologize.
Joe. All right, let's move to a roll call vote.
Commissioner Hall?
Yes.
Commissioner McElina?
Yes.
Rigsby?
Aye.
Byers?
Yes.
Kelly?
Aye.
Eby?
Aye.
Motion passes. We have an agenda. And let's move to our first item, the approval of meeting minutes for our May 5th meeting of 2026. Any corrections to the minutes or comments?
Make a motion to approve the meetings from the regular meeting of May 5th, 2026.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Move to a roll call vote.
Commissioner Hall?
Yes.
Commissioner McElina?
Aye.
Commissioner Rigsby?
Aye.
Commissioner Byers?
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly?
Aye.
Commissioner Eby?
Aye.
Motion passes. And we approve the meeting minutes. All right, we'll move to number 5, public input. So for everybody that's here, and do we have the camera on? Can you see us, Ron?
No, I cannot.
Okay.
It just says community development.
You'll have to hit the actual camera in the Zoom meeting.
There you go.
All right, we're going to move to the public input. So for folks in the audience, this is an opportunity for anything that is not on our agenda to be brought in front of Planning and Zoning, this commission. So if you are on the agenda, you will have your opportunity to speak before the board, but this is for any non-agenda items that the public wants to bring to our attention. Seeing none, and Jessica's the attorney, right?
Jessica's the attorney.
Okay. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close public input and move to our quasi-judicial public hearing with the first one, variance approval case PV-2026-05. And Scarlett, you'll step out for this one, yeah?
Yep.
Thank you. We can actually, it's locked. You'll have to go through that door.
It is? It wasn't when I,
Maybe I can't use a door. Chris, what do we have here?
So we have a variance approval request. Timothy Borer is requesting variance approval to encroach into the front, back, and side setbacks for the placement of a home on property zone R1, single-family residential district located at 131 Brady Canyon Drive.
Okay. Is the applicant here?
So I do not see the applicant, and the applicant has been notified both by phone, email, and text message, and he made every implication that he'd be here, and he has not shown up at this time.
Okay, so there's nobody to speak on behalf of this item?
No, sir.
Okay, I guess in that case, we'll move to table this until the applicant can be here. All right, entertain a motion to table.
so moved.
We got a motion to table. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Seeing none, let's move to a roll call vote.
Yes.
Commissioner Michelina? Commissioner Michelina?
Aye.
Commissioner Rigsby?
Aye.
Commissioner Byers?
Aye.
And Commissioner Eby?
All right, we're tabled.
Hi, Scarlett.
Let's move to our next item. The applicant wasn't here. Variance approval case PV 2026-09. Chris, what can you tell us about this one?
So we have another variance approval case. Jim Daly is requesting variance approval to encroach into the corner side setback for the placement of carport on property zoned M1, low-density mobile home district located at 177 Juniper Road.
Thank you. Is the applicant here? Come on down front, sir. How are you? And we'll get you sworn in, and anybody else that'll be speaking on your behalf, so. Start with you, sir. If you'll raise your right hand, state your name, and say you'll tell the truth, nothing but the truth.
Jim Daly, I will tell the truth and nothing but the truth.
Thank you, sir.
I, David Tetra, will tell the truth and nothing but the truth.
Thank you, sir. Awesome. So tell us a little bit about what you're wanting to do, Mr. Daly.
Okay. Kind of wrote something out just so I'd remember everything, so. I'm requesting a variance for adding a carport to my house. The carport will attach to the house and extend to the fence line on Larch Drive. Carport will be 18 feet from the house to the fence line and 24 feet long against the house. The top of the carport will have the same metal roofing as the house has. I have pictures of the proposed carport that will give a view of what the carport will look like. I have those, yes, Chris had it in the package that
Yes, sir, they're included in the packet.
the outside posts of the carport are actually over 14 feet from the edge of the pavement on Larch Drive, so there's actually room to park a car along the fence line. And there's there's several trees on the fence line that kind of blend in with the carport. The proposed carport will not block the view of traffic on Juniper Road coming from north. The carport will match the look of our house and will provide protection for our car from sun damage, pine needles, broken tree branches, and tree sap. I have owned this house since November of 2019. I lost my wife in April of 22 and remarried in March of 2023. My wife and I still have homes in Lubbock and Amarillo, Texas. We currently spend time in Ruidoso from approximately April until November of the past 3 years. We're active in the village with the Ruidoso Pickleball Club. I have noticed in my neighborhood that there are several houses that have carports and garages on the property lines, and I can provide addresses and pictures of these houses if needed. We've spent a lot of money on our vehicles and want to try to protect them and try to keep them clean.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Would you like these pictures?
I think we might have them in the packet.
No, these are different pictures.
Different ones? Sure, we can
These
add
are
them to the,
of the houses in the neighborhood that have carports or stuff on the property lines.
Okay.
There's 2 sets of them.
All right, thank you. And these are in photos of within your neighborhood is what these are?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
And the address of the property is on the back
on the
of
backside.
the picture. And with me today is David Tetrault, that probably know him from a former employee of the village.
Yes, sir.
He's my next door neighbor.
Okay, nice.
Hello, council. I'm just his neighbor, and I've actually talked with 4 other neighbors, and none of us have any objection to him building there. And like he said, if you drive up and down the road, there's just catty corner and a little bit over, there's a garage right on the road, right on the asphalt, and the house directly across from him, I know they got an easement. It's should have been 20 feet. It's like 10 feet. They hardly have room to park their cars, so. But everyone I talked to in the neighborhood didn't have any objection.
Okay, thank you. All right, at this time, we'll open it up to public comment. This is the opportunity for folks like David to make a comment for or against you. And we'll also, Chris, do you want to provide staff comments and if there's been any other communication on this item?
There has not been any communication from the general public on behalf of this case. And I've included the findings as it applies against the municipal code. And there's recommendations which we could either go to now or we could continue the rest of the questions on that. But I did recommend that, do we want to get to staff recommendations now?
Yeah. why don't we
Okay,
go ahead?
so I did recommend that, that the case is denied that an extraordinary hardship has not been shown to be, to actually be the case.
Okay. Thanks, Chris. Is there any other public comments for or against this item? Okay, we'll go ahead and close public comments and move to commissioners' comments. And I'll start by making just a statement for you, Mr. Daly. So there's a few things that come to our board. One of them is a variance. A variance is essentially saying the property is divided up in such a way that there's an extraordinary hardship where you cannot get the full financial benefit of the property or cannot use the property. So think real steep lot, really, really narrow lot, et cetera. So the bar for a variance within this case is hardship. And so that's what we have to determine when we're making our decision based off of how the ordinance is written. So I always comment that because folks ask, how do you determine where a variance comes from? And it comes from that language within the municipal code, which is a hardship. And there's a couple of other criteria for a decision if you've ever looked at it. So that's the comment that I'll make, and then I'll open it up to commissioners for questions from the applicant, Mr. Daly.
Yeah, it's just, while we appreciate the pictures of other structures, variances are on a lot-by-lot basis, and the pictures are nice, but none of us know the history. Those may be verifiable and granted variances. We don't know that. They're just pictures. We have to look at just what the issue is for your particular lot. Doesn't matter what's on your neighbor's lot. Because we don't know that history. It wasn't presented to us as part of the packet, so that doesn't have any bearing on any of our decisions. That's just the only comment I'd make right at the present time.
Thanks.
This is up in Ponderosa Heights, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's on the corner of Juniper Road and Larch.
My frustration is that law versus common sense, and the area that this is in, and the pre-existing situations that I'm well aware of, and like Dave said, there's one spot that it's literally right on the road, a garage basically, and it's been that way, I know, for 40 years. And I don't know, I have a hard time not going with common sense on something like this when it's not egregious. And but that being said.
Yep. Sir, so in some of the photos we just get the Google Street View. We see that, is this your vehicle? It's a Honda Ridgeline, it looks like? Okay. So correct me if I'm mistaken or not. Is this where the carport is where you want it to go? Okay.
This,
Not up front here where it's also parked in this photo? Or is that on the side?
I think that's parked in the same place.
Okay,
Yeah, it's in the same place.
okay,
Yeah, it's in the same place. This there's a little porch right here.
yeah,
And it has a little cover over it. and it'll be the same height and the same level as that. In other words, we're taking that cover, the exact same, and we're making it longer and wider.
Okay. Okay, that's helpful.
You know, there's not any other place on the property to build a carport, to build a garage, or anything like that. So,
Well, I mean, there's 30 feet from the existing covered deck to this side. What is what is the hardship that you can't build it right here and have the access on Juniper, or whatever road this is? Larch?
Well, they go right in the backyard, and of course, we have a deck that we built right there.
Yeah.
And you probably have to cut down 4 or 5 trees.
Okay, but there's not a steep slope or anything preventing you from building?
Well, on the back of the property, back from the back fence, towards the house, there's a raised portion that is probably, what is it, about 5 foot tall? So that-
There is probably a little lower,
Yeah.
3 to 4 feet
and,
there.
A lot of rocks and stuff, that there's rocks all the way across the back of the house, and there's just steps go up to the upper level.
Yeah. But you wouldn't happen to know that the slope changed from this back corner to this front corner on Larch?
I don't,
Okay,
I would guess about 7 feet.
okay.
yeah.
There's also a drainage there that comes off the road.
Yeah, on the back edge of my property, there is a drainage ditch that goes through, actually, the
And
back
there is
part
a
of my
couple
property.
culverts in there too.
Yeah.
My other thought was putting it on the east side of the house on parallel to Juniper. That way, because you could put it back far enough to be out of the clear sight triangle. But you'd still be in the front setback there.
The challenge is it's a non-conforming building as it is, and if you approve anything for it, you just create more non-conforming. And do you want to do that and set that precedent? I mean, to Bart's point, you know, with all the others that have been there for 40 years, yeah, they were there for 40 years prior to the zoning and all that, so you can't change that. But do you set a precedent where you just say, the hell with it? That's what you're really looking at.
Along that fence line there on Larch, there's a couple of large pine trees, I guess it is, and some junipers along there, along that edge. And so, you know, they'd be, the side of the carport would be on, just inside that tree line there. And so it really doesn't block anything. It doesn't block any traffic view or anything like this. I'm just looking to try to get some protection from my cars, and 75 years old, and, you know, I don't want to have to go wash my car every 2 days and this kind of thing. And
During the freeze, what'd you have, about 10, 12 branches fall?
yeah, a whole bunch of
And they're like
branches.
this big.
Yeah, fell in the driveway, and if
That's
my
the-
car would have been there, it would have caused a lot of damage to them.
Okay. Commissioners, what other questions do we have for the applicant or Chris? or-
Well, I'm just reading in the ordinance there where that if you approve a setback, then what you do later on in the future, that any other request would be that you would take the average of the two furthest or the two closest, let's say. So this would look like it's going to be what, 2-3 feet from the road? So that.
No, it's about 14 feet from the road.
Well, your carport, actually off of Juniper?
From Juniper,
I think here it
probably
shows
35 feet.
19.6.
Oh, right here?
Oh, this is
From the
Larch.
edge of his property line, it would
about
be
35 feet off of
So it's
Juniper.
off of Larch, it would be.
off of Larch. And off of his property line, it looks like it's about
It
1.5
shows
feet.
1.3 right here.
1.3 feet. So then what does that do to any future requests?
So at the M1 district, that would change the average setback that would preclude our further decisions on what the setback is for that district.
So if you start establishing a 1.3, then that's really doing away with your setback.
And a point of clarification on the sightline triangle provided, even though the proposed carport is in the sightline triangle, the structure beams are allowed as long as they are minimum, or do not exceed 12 inches in width. So that's a construction and permitting, and administrative part of this application if it were to be approved, or any other further carports in the sightline triangle.
Does anybody have a motion? There's a recommended one in your packet.
If you let me put my glasses on, I will read that. Based on the facts, applicable law analysis and findings above, staff recommend the planning and zoning, oh, no, sorry, that's the denial. It helps if I read the right page. Based on the foregoing findings of facts per 54-69, 54-98, 54-124, and 54-128 of the Village Code, I move to approve the variance request for case number PV-2026-09.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. Any discussion? Let's move to a roll call vote.
Commissioner Hall?
No.
Commissioner McElina?
Nay.
Commissioner Rigsby?
Nay.
Commissioner Byers?
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly?
No.
And Commissioner Eby?
No.
Motion does not pass. Mr. Daly, the stated reason is the hardship level that we have to cross. As you admitted, there could have been probably, even though there are junipers and pines there, you could do our carport around the corner, and we're worried about setting precedent for the setbacks so that in the future, there are not other carports, other garages, et cetera, that you see throughout the village. A lot of these predated this board or even ordinances, so even if they were there before, there's not a lot we could do because they're legally non-conforming. So that's kind of the stated reason that'll go into the minutes for the denial. Do any other commissioners want to add their reasons for their vote no?
No, you have it. It's the no hardship demonstrated in the, it would reset setbacks in that whole district, and you really don't want to do that.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Daly. Thank you for your time
Okay,
today.
thank you.
We'll move on to the next item that we have on our agenda, which is variance approval case PV, right? Is that the one? Sorry. Conditional use, sorry, CU 2026-07. Chris, what can you tell us about that?
So this is a conditional use request so Kendra Hiles is requesting conditional use permit approval for an accessory dwelling structure on property zoned R1, single-family residential district located at 126 Course View Drive.
Okay. Is the applicant here? Come on down. We'll get you both sworn in. If you'll raise your right hand, say you tell the truth, nothing but the truth, and state your name.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. My name is Kendra Hiles.
I, Charles Vega, swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth.
Thank you. And what was your last name? I apologize.
Vega?
Vega. Nice. Thank you, Mr. Vega. Tell us a little bit about what you guys are looking to do.
Okay, I submitted a letter. I'll just read off of that if that's okay.
Yeah.
We respectfully requesting approval to construct a new single-family residence on our property located within the village of Ruidoso. The purpose of this new home is to make better use of our property while providing a safe permanent residence for our family. Building this home will allow us to continue investing in the village of Ruidoso and establish a long-term residence in the community we value. We are committed to developing the property in a manner that is consistent with the surrounding neighborhood and all applicable village standards. This home is especially important to us because it will provide a safe and permanent place for our two children to grow up in. Our goal is to create a home where they can thrive, build lasting memories, and continue to be a part of the Ruidoso community. We are committed to providing them with a secure environment and believe this home will serve as a lasting foundation for our family's future. We both have a strong history of public service. I, Kendra Hiles, proudly served as a wildland firefighter, gaining experience in protecting communities' natural resources and responding to emergencies under challenging conditions. Charles Vega is currently serving on active duty in the United States military, demonstrating ongoing commitment to serving our country. Through our combined backgrounds, we understand the importance of responsibility, integrity, and being positive contributors to the communities we call home. We are committed to ensuring that the proposed home complies with all applicable zoning ordinances, building codes, setbacks, utility requirements, and any other regulations established by the Village of Verdoso. We understand the importance of responsible development and intend to complete this project in a way that enhances both our property and the surrounding community. We respectfully request your consideration of our application and appreciate the opportunity to move forward with this project. Thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate that. At this time, we'll go ahead and open it up for public comment and then staff comments as well. Chris, you want to go first?
Yes, sir. So we did get a few phone calls from the surrounding community members inquiring details. So we had some interest in it, and after explaining some of the uses this accessory building would have, such as no short-term rentals allowed, the people calling in seemed to be satisfied, and they were invited to attend if they had more comments.
Thanks. And do you want to do staff
Absolutely.
comments?
So with after the analysis and findings, staff does recommend approval of an accessory dwelling, primarily because it is a permissive use with a conditional use permit in the R1 district. So it is in general compliance.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, at this time, we'll open it up, public comments. Seeing none, we'll close public comments and move to commissioners' questions. What questions do you have for these folks?
I guess one is how many square footage are you looking at in the building? It's hard to tell. There really were no dimensions on it. What are we looking at?
Yeah, I mean, it was hard to get anyone out there to kind of help us with planning. I guess everyone's tied up, so we weren't able to get that done before we got here. But we weren't looking to do anything outrageous. Like, it would just be a small 3-bedroom casita, pretty much.
I don't think anything over 2,000 square feet, that's for sure.
And we do have the land for it. I mean, we have about a little over half an acre to where we wouldn't be, I guess, encroaching on our neighbors. And we do know that our neighbor that is on the east side of us, I think they did something like we had in their little area, and I think we have a little bit more land than they did. And it doesn't encroach on us either.
And you both are currently living on the property?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because that is a requirement of the conditional use.
Yes, sir. We bought the house outright, so, and that's our permanent place. We don't own any homes anywhere else, so that's where we plan to live for the rest of our days. Hopefully.
So is the plan to rent out the current place where you're residing as a long-term rental, or is it just for family, or what's the?
No, so
Strictly for family.
well, the current plan is, because our children are still, our son's 18.
Yeah.
So, and we have, our daughter who's only 12. And then we also have Charlie's parents who are getting older. So it's mostly just to keep it in for the family.
Gotcha.
Yes.
That's perfect, thank you.
An in-law house.
And yes,
I grew up on the reservation, so like housing for us was a big thing, and it still is to this day. I mean, my brothers, my siblings, they're still having issues there, and I don't want that for my children. So that's why, we bought such a big spacious lot and hopes to help them.
to Bill's point, they told you about the setbacks,
Yes, sir.
15 feet from front and back, and you obviously put it in here.
Yes.
If it's really only, is the 10-foot, I just want to clarify this. Do you know the distance from the front of your lot to the back of your lot? Because right now, it looks like the building will only be 10 feet deep, if that makes sense, based off this drawing.
Right. Yeah, that was kind of hard for us to make out as well, and that's why we were hoping to have, I guess, a better print like a blueprint, have someone that knows what they're doing draw it up, but we weren't able to secure that. So
Yeah.
it was just kind of like a rough draft, I guess.
Any indication for the current building, how deep it is, just as a guess? Is it 20 feet? Is it 30 feet? Like, how many rooms from the front of your house to the back?
It's kind of, yeah, our rooms are staggered downstairs. We know our house is 3,000 square feet.
So this is 3,000 square
But
foot?
it's a double, it's like
Okay.
two level, yeah.
Split level, yeah.
Yeah, split level, so,
So the top is probably like 2,000?
yeah, we would say that.
Yeah, if you look at it, Jacob, on the dimensions of the lot, it's roughly, down there where that building is, it's probably close to that 92 feet. Look on the very first page,
Okay.
it says 92 feet by 411. It's kind of long and narrow, but 92 on the bottom. So if it's 92 on the bottom and you take 30 off the side, that gives you a
60.
60-foot wide building. And if it's 60 by 40, that's 2,400 square feet,
Yeah.
and that's just one floor.
Yeah,
So that kind of gets you close to what you're looking at.
yeah.
It's a little
Thank
hard
you.
on, the drawing's
Yeah.
a little difficult, but based on that, I'm assuming that's your widest part of your property, so.
It is.
Thank you. Thanks for clarifying that. Thanks for the help. Questions?
No, right?
Joe? Scarlett? Ron, any questions?
Yeah, Kendra, the white building that you have in the picture, that's the location you want to put the new one?
No, that's their.
No, that's our existing.
Yes, that's our.
That's the existing.
Yes, sir. And then if you look to, I guess when you're looking at the paperwork, is it on the right or left-hand side? Okay, it's at the, I guess it would be
It's at
more
the
of the
wide
left
end.
bottom corner. We kind of drew
Right.
in a little square there to where that's our proposal area.
Oh, okay, so I see. Home,
Yeah.
this is a storage shed?
Yeah.
The white building's a storage shed, Ron,
Oh, okay, that's what he, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
and then proposed area here.
Yes, sir. And we've had talks about even if necessary, we would take the storage shed down. It's not really of use to us, so,
And this is the side of your lot where it gets real narrow, right?
yes.
Yeah, it kind of shoots down from there. Okay. That was my question.
Great. Other questions?
You'd like me to read a correct motion?
Yeah, let's look at the conditional uses if there are any, because that's usually a part of it. Is there any,
Just
just that they'll adhere to the,
permits in the building, and it is primary resident, it's not short-term rental use. That's all spelled out in the code, so.
yep, sounds good.
Ready? All right, get on the right page. Based on the foregoing findings of facts per 54-69, 54-85, and 54-97 of the Village Code, I move to approve the requested conditional use permit for case number CU-2026-07.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Let's do a roll call vote.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Michelina,
Aye.
Commissioner Rigsby,
Aye.
Commissioner Byers,
Aye.
Commissioner sorry, Kelly,
Aye.
and Commissioner Eby.
Aye.
Sorry, Kelly.
Motion carries. You guys have your conditional use.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for coming in.
All right, let's move to our next item. That's the end of our quasi judicial hearings. And we'll move to new business. We have two items under new business. Both are intended to clean up language within the Chapter 54. One of them relevant today was the setbacks for mobile homes in the M1 district. And then the other one was what we mean by expansion for legal non-conforming. There was some debate. I think Chris has some recommendations to clean up both items. So Chris, why don't we start with A, the additional requirements for front setbacks?
Absolutely, thank you. So in the M1 district, there is the requirement for front setbacks to be made an average of all the existing setbacks of the buildings within one side of the street between intersections. And so that had been brought to my attention that the commission did want to review that and possibly clean up that language or hold it as it is. Some of the recommendations that I do have is for the commission, eventually the council, because this would go to the council, would be to recommend to the council to amend the language for additional requirements for the front setback, or to recommend to remove what essentially can be determined as a floating determination for the setback, remove that completely and stick to the standards for the initial the setbacks as, for the M1 district, which are 20 feet in front, 10 feet on the side, 20 feet for a corner, and 10 feet in the rear. And just make it a standardized setback instead of the variable setback. And also just to take no action and leave it as it is. And another, in my short time here, I do not recall any instance where we've actually adhered to that setback for M1 districts. So when we get permitting for different building structures through our administrative office, we do go out and measure, and it's only been brought up when it's been a lot shorter than what the standard setback is, even though it's variable. And then we've asked to bring it here as a variance.
So, to clarify, is it my understanding that you could have setbacks vary based on each street from corner to corner in that district? And is that because there's a lot of non-conforming uses already there? Or what's I guess that's what I'm trying to get to is, because you showed us a couple of maps with a 20-foot setback.
Right.
And I didn't see but one house that was in that.
Exactly. So on page 65 and 66, just took screenshots of average buildings in the area with the prescribed 20-foot setback, and show that how a lot of buildings are much further in, which is actually, it's a good standard so that you're not so close to the setback. But then by that code, it says that now everybody's setback for that street should be 35 feet possibly in the back. So I don't know the full intent of that,
I see.
that footnote, but it's possible that it's a design standard to look in uniform use, and generally for a mobile home park, which there are mobile home parks in M1, but there's also a lot of residential neighborhoods with neighborhood streets that this affects.
M1, the difference between M1 and M2, M1 is typically designed for the single-family home placed on like a third of a lot, right? Not M2, which is typically designed for multiple.
So M1 is a higher density,
Okay,
so closer, smaller lots.
I had it inversed then. Okay.
So I guess and you hit into that point, is if you look at this map, let's just say this street here on average is 30 feet instead of the 20. Why would you want to have more of a setback than what it's everywhere else on every other residential lot? So I would think you'd just want to do what we typically do if it's because it's now a new structure. We can't do anything about stuff that's been there for 40, 50 years. That's done. But the new stuff would, if you're going to do something new on a vacant lot, you'd have the standard setback we have everywhere. And then if you wanted to encroach into, you would ask for a variance like the typically process we would do here. I don't want to see you us get to the point where because some of these homes are set back further, you impose a setback standard greater than what is everywhere else. That doesn't make sense to me. So if the language allows that to happen, we should change that language.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I think that's what
I
he's
agree
advocating.
with that.
Yeah. I would just remove the footnote. That would be my recommendation to council. Like, let's not do any weird calculations. Just say it's 20 feet
Yeah.
and if this is not necessarily the intent of this discussion, but our other R1 residential districts are at 15 feet. Do we want to change it to 15 feet for the setback for M1? I also am confused about this lot area as a minimum of 5 acres. So
So that is the typo. It must be.
half an
because M1 is low-density mobile home. It's not for a full park, right?
Yeah.
So M1 is high density.
Oh, well, then it's incorrect in our packet, because it says M1
Oh,
low
sorry,
density.
I'm sorry, I'm incorrect. So M1 is low density. Yes, sir.
And not to exceed more than 5 units per acre. So,
So the 5-acre minimum lot size, it must be a typo, and that's something that can be also amended.
yeah, because there's already a lot area minimum on this one. So we should get that cleaned up as well. Ron, any thoughts? You following?
Yeah, I mean, I think we maybe want to go the way Bill's thinking here, is that we set the standard, and then if somebody needs to come back in and get a variance, that could be the best way of handling it. We may open up a whole bunch of stuff we don't necessarily want if we try to put like this percentages toward it and all this other stuff. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree. I think we remove, I don't know, I don't think footnotes should necessarily dictate law, and it's a footnote,
Law.
so that's why I think we should just remove the footnote altogether. Because we have the standard listed above.
Yeah, I think that's,
I'm good with that. My frustration is within the neighborhood like Ponderosa Heights, you know, trying to build a carport that you can see through and stuff and encroaching a little. It's not like it's going to ruin the neighborhood. It's not like, and I don't know how you get around or rewrite so that, you know, an individual like that would be allowed to do that kind of thing. But,
yeah, that's, like I said, that, but that's, I don't think you, well, at this point, you wouldn't be. You just wouldn't be. I mean, you know, well, like I said, no, if it was a standard offset, the challenge is it's a non-conforming. That's the problem in Ponderosa Heights. There's a lot of non-conforming.
yeah, a lot. I mean, it's the majority.
Yeah.
Drive around there. I lived up there 40 years
No,
ago.
I walk
you
it
know,
every
drove-
I walk it every day.
I think that might be a discussion for another time, because I don't know how you address that
I
many
don't either,
non-conforming.
but
I
if there's
see where
an
you're frustrated,
opportunity to, in a neighborhood like that,
But I think if you get to the standard, the standard setback, and that came as a case as for a standard setback thing, you've got more leeway within the code to be able to do that, as I understand it. Because you can put a carport in the set, if it's a standard setback.
So it depends on zoning district.
The zoning district.
It's
yeah.
not, because like,
Nah, that's true, it needs to be R1, I'm sorry.
I have
Not
a duplex that's in an R4,
Yeah,
and the number of complaints I've gotten from tenants about carport, they want a carport because the SAP, but I can't do it because it's
because it's
R4.
R4, okay, you're right.
So it's only R1 that allows the carport in the
In the
setback.
setback, okay,
Correct.
that's correct, okay.
And there's even limitations in that, right, Chris?
Correct,
It's
I
like-
believe it's up to 5 feet from the property line for a carport with open on all sides.
So there isn't, I mean,
So like I said, I'm with Jacob, just recommend get rid of the footnote.
yeah, I don't like the 30-foot setback just because
Yeah,
that's
just
the
be-
average on that side of the street.
Street, yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Is that a motion? We have to have a motion to recommend to council.
Well, you could cap it off too, like you could say up to 20 feet, but then if the average is 1.5 feet setback, we don't want to encourage that either, right?
well,
Yeah.
that's why you just have the standard
20-foot
20
setback.
foot, and then if it's anything, if somebody wants to do something new, we're talking new.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
can't change the footprints on the ground, but if it's new, then they have to come and go through planning and zoning, find out, oh, you need a variance to do that, and then we get to look at it from that perspective.
So like Jacob was saying, why not do 15?
Well, because the 20 was an R1, I don't know.
Isn't R1 15?
R1 is 15. We made that change, and I thought we made it in M1 too, but, because I thought we were trying to, so the case that we just had, part of the thought process was we have the additional dwelling units. To be able to maybe get more ADUs on properties, we need more usable space on said properties. So do we reduce the setbacks? But I don't know why we didn't do it on the M1 district and we just did it on our R1.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, I thought it was gonna apply to all, but no, because as I said, because like Midtown is all zero lot lines, so
Yeah.
it was different by,
It must have been by zone.
by zoning district.
So Chris, if we wanted to make another change outside of the stated change about the footnote, do we need to have another public notice period and have another discussion, or?
So I don't believe so, but I could definitely look into that for sure. One possibility is that this would be a public hearing scheduled for council, which may satisfy the public notice period, and then it could be voted on there, since this was part of new business. But if that does trigger an extended period of notice, I will let all the commissioners know, and then we could move forward with getting it on the next agenda to add to it, for example, changing the setback from 20 to 15. One thing I would recommend, though, is as a study as to why 20 feet. There may be reasons that, so before, my recommendations would be a study to see if there's a reason for that, and it may be, for example, for more narrower roads in that district, requiring for the placement of utility lines within the setbacks, and if we reduce that, that might have some unintended effects.
Well, that would come through easements would come through, and you can't build or place on an easement, and you can't build or place on a right-of-way. So this is just somebody's personal lot. So even an example, I think Gavilan has, not all of Gavilan is in the village, but this is the only place where I know we have a huge right-of-way, which is like 150-foot right-of-way. But then I have to set back my property, if I'm R1, 20 feet from that 150-foot right-of-way. So I don't think that right-of-ways or utility easements will impact setbacks on your property.
Yeah, and people build over them all the time.
Well, that's another
Yeah, I mean,
thing
that's a
that's
whole
not.
that's another choice that somebody made, but
So,
that does happen.
and we have changed it from 20 to 15, so I personally don't know if a study is needed, Chris, not to,
That's just my recommendation.
Yeah.
Well, it would be interesting to, from the standpoint for us, to understand why that was 20 feet in the M1 zoned areas. I don't know why it was.
Maybe it just got missed in the rewrite.
yeah. that's
And I don't know that either. I can't be 100% sure on that
Because it
part.
doesn't make sense that it would be
Yeah.
more restrictive than an R1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, yeah. Did it get missed in the rewrite? That might be the first thing to look at, go back to those notes 3 years, was it 4 years ago when we did that?
Feels like a
It
lot.
wasn't adopted for a couple of years, but I would go back and look at that from your perspective to look at it, because when you look at the M1s, like I said, Ponderosa Heights, it's just smaller lots. They're still residential for the most part, you know. I
So
mean,
if we make a motion and you find out that there's extenuating circumstances, it will die anyways, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is just a recommendation to
Yeah,
council
it's just
based
a
off of what
recommendation,
we
so let's-
suggest.
make the recommendation.
Yeah,
to-
make the recommendation, and let the council decide.
We tried that with short-term rentals, and
I'm not hearing here that what you guys are talking about, changing it to 15 feet.
That, yeah, I think, why don't we do this? Why don't we break it up? And then we can do one big motion. I think that might be easiest, but is there anybody that would like to amend the language for the footnote on the front setback, or should we just delete said language?
I'd vote for just deleting said language.
So is that a motion?
Okay, I will,
And then we can vote on the 15 feet as well as a different motion, if you have
okay,
a motion.
all right. I make a motion that we remove footnote 3 from the Village of Ruidoso, Chapter 54, Chapter 54, Land Use Code, on pages 42 to 43. I wish I don't have that.
You're okay. So recommend to council to remove the footnote 3 found on,
Page 42 to 43 of Chapter 54 of the Village of Ruidoso Code.
Second.
motion and second. Any discussion on that item? Okay, let's do a roll call vote on that item.
Commissioner Hall?
Yes.
Commissioner Michelina?
I think you're on mute, Ron, or we didn't hear you. Did you say yes?
He's on mute. You're muted.
It's not sure, yeah, he is.
You can give a thumbs up.
No, he's not muted.
You can give
He unmuted it.
thumbs
Give
up.
us a thumbs up, because we can't hear your audio.
It's a yay as
It's a yay.
indicated by a thumbs up.
Commissioner Rigsby?
Aye.
Commissioner Byers?
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly?
Aye.
And Commissioner Eby?
Aye.
Okay, so that recommendation passes. Let's move to our next discussion point, which is from the 20-foot setback to a 15-foot setback. I, to Bart's point, don't think that M1 district should be more restrictive than R1 district, which is its closest comparison.
Yeah.
And our R1 district is at 15 feet. So I think since we determined that was an appropriate distance in the past, I think we can make this more
And that's-
consistent.
it's also 15 feet on the side as well, isn't it? For R1.
Yes. I believe, let me double check, maybe,
Just double check that.
yeah.
Thought sides was 10.
That's what I was.
That's a corner, I guess, corner.
So on the side, it's 10 feet, 15 in the front and 15 in the rear.
And what's on the corner?
20.
20. Okay, so that's the same as R1 then. So all we need to amend is the front setback on the M1.
Yeah, to
Recommend,
15.
so-
Recommend to council.
So our recommendation would be, our recommendation to council is in table 54.69.6A, M1 district dimensional standards. Our recommendation to council is to change the front setback from the 20 feet listed to 15 feet to be similar to the setbacks required in R1 zoning.
Okay. Motion,
Motion?
second, discussion. I think it's the right call, so any other discussion? Let's do roll call.
Commissioner Hall?
Yes.
Commissioner Michelina?
Aye.
Hey, there you are.
Commissioner Rigsby?
Aye.
Commissioner Byers?
Aye.
Commissioners Kelly?
Aye.
And Commissioner Eby?
Aye.
Motion carries, or recommendation to council carries. Any other discussion on front setbacks for M1? If not, I think we can move on to legal nonconforming.
So I'd just like to point out that it's not the same for R1, because the rear setback in R1 is 15, and the rear setback in M1 is 10.
Okay.
So it dimensionally would be the same, so the 5 feet is taken from the front and added, or is taken from the back and added to the front for the M1 district. I just wanted to make that clarification.
Is there any desire to change the rear setback from the commission then? So right now, it's listed at 10 feet in our district standards. Do we want to bump it up to 15?
No,
Because we're dealing with,
they're tight lots anyways.
they're tight lots and,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, no, I think that 10's fine.
I'm good with 10. Setbacks are very important. We've seen it in my neighborhood when there was the fire. Those that had less than a 10-foot setback burned, those that had 10-foot or greater
Did not.
or it was like 5. I don't know, I didn't measure it, but setbacks are important for that regard. So I don't think we need to completely do away with them, but I do think we
No,
can reduce them, so. Okay, I think we're good on that one, Chris.
Okay.
All right, so I will draft language if where necessary, and then striking language for the first part of this discussion.
Sweet. Let's talk about this one, 54, maximum expansion. The next item. Could you give us an overview of this item?
Yes, sir. So this proceeding discussion will be concerning the language regarding the 25% maximum expansion of ground or floor area of a legal nonconforming use found on page 138, section 54-127 of the Ruidoso Chapter 54 Land Use and Zoning Regulations. And in a nutshell, this discussion will be to clarify the language as to what is meant specifically about the 25% maximum expansion. One question being, is the 25% calculated from the entirety of a nonconforming structure, or is it calculated only from the area within the nonconforming structure? For example, a setback, if a full structure, a 100%, 95% is conforming, are we calculating 25% from that 95%, or calculating 25% of 5% that exist in the nonconformity?
That's in the setback already.
So I'm going to restate it just because I've struggled with this one in math. The question is, does 25% apply to the entire structure, or does 25% only apply to the legal nonconforming? Additionally, the question is the 25%, can it be applied to the legal nonconforming area or just the structure altogether, right? So in the example that you gave, I'm going to divide up the section just so that way we're talking. So what's in the setback would be section A, just so that way we talk about it. And what is not is section B. So the question is, do we do the calculation of 25% on section A or the combination of A and B? That's one question in my opinion. The other question is, if I have this and I want to expand on A, can I do that in the setback, the side setback,
No.
No.
with this language? This language, in my opinion, allows for that.
Right, I think the intent is so that even though it's within the setback, existing right now within the setback, an addition to that house would not go any more into the setback, right? Wouldn't that be the intent?
I think that's the intent. I don't know if the language says that.
Right,
And I
Yeah, I
think
would
that's what Jacob's point is I don't know if the language says that.
because
explicitly.
I'm wondering if they're not crossing the setback line and they're adding on to their house where a portion of it is over the setback,
Yep.
is that a problem at all?
Yeah, if I wanted to do C to the right of this and create a giant,
A giant, yeah.
that, like,
Take up all the rest of the
Take up-
space.
why do they need to
basically.
come to us at all for
Exactly.
this?
For that, I don't think they do.
I don't think so.
But I think that's how that reads.
I would interpret it
If
as
you're
I was
going
reading.
more than, if you're going 26% in an addition, because this is a legal non-conforming, I think that reads that you'd have to come in.
And I would argue that any non-conforming structure would have to come in. A maximum expansion of 25% of the ground floor area of a legally non-conforming use may be permitted one time. So it doesn't say a maximum expansion of the legally non-conforming area. It's the legally non-conforming use.
Remind me again, what makes it legally non-conforming?
It's been there since 86 or whenever.
So all
It
the
was
stuff
bit-
in the Ponderosa Heights.
Yeah, basically, if it was, it's like I said, I've got a legally non-conforming garage, because it was built in 1984, code came in 1988. Now, if I wanted to do something else to that garage, like make it bigger, I'd have to conform with the setbacks to do that. And like I said, I can't, I don't have any room to do that, but that's what it is because, like I said, Ponderosa Heights in particular is, you've got a lot, almost all those homes were built prior to
Oh,
the
yeah.
adoption of the code in 1988.
Yep.
So that's why they're legally non-conforming.
Or another would be use of the property.
Yeah.
My interpretation and understanding. A house that was suddenly zoned C2, Like, it can still be used as a residential house because the zoning was applied afterwards, so that would be legally non-conforming.
Yeah, I would think as I struggle with it, I mean, what I think the end would be is that you have a legally non-conforming use. If they wanted to expand the structure, I would think as long as it doesn't create another issue with any of the other setbacks. Isn't that where you want to be? It's like you said, where you're talking about pushing out into building C. Now, if you wanted to take.
What about if you wanna go to D, which is just doing down here, which is like, you wanna go, like, cause we had this one in May. The guy wanted to add on to his house that was legally non-conforming. That's where we got the calculus all confused. Like, we wouldn't want to continue the non-adherence to the ordinance, right?
Right. I think it should somehow say that you can't add on to the portion that is non-conforming.
Right, if it falls
That's the
within the
language I'm
non-conforming
looking for.
area, you can't touch that.
Yeah, that's the language I'm looking for.
Right.
So then do we need this language at all?
I don't think so, but
Because if I wanna add on C,
That's just a building.
that's fine.
that's just building
It's
code.
within your, yeah.
It's within and you're adhering to all the current setbacks. That's just a building permit thing.
And if we can't mind read, but I imagine that they were like, oh, you can do D, but only if it's 25%, like not as big. And I think that was probably the original intent of this language, is to add on to the non-conforming areas.
Yeah, and we don't want to allow
don't
that.
think we ought to.
Because you're not, when it's, so that portion of the building, A, is the legal non-conforming use. You're not changing the setback on that property. You're just allowing
Allowing
that
that
little portion right
To
there.
exist,
It's
yeah.
like, you're on your property, that's fine, but
And you don't want to make it worse, you don't
Yeah.
want to make it worse by making A go either way in the setback. further.
Right.
yeah, I would agree. So, Chris, if I have a legally non-conforming property today, and I want to add C to my house, today would have to come to us and we would have to grant it a one-time approval?
So C being within the setbacks there.
Within the setbacks.
The way that we would look at that right now is administratively, it would be inside the setbacks and would not require planning commission, as the way that we're interpreting it at the moment.
Okay. I don't know if that it jives with the language.
I think that language needs to just go away.
Yeah.
I mean, is that something?
Percentage,
Yeah, is it something that we ask the attorney that here's what the intent needs to be? This language doesn't seem to support it. Can we just strike that? Can we get like a?
Let's give her a billable hour. Jessica, can you comment on that? Like, so I'm not sure if you were following our ABC, or we didn't have a full mock-up, but we don't want to allow additional expansion into non-conforming or into setbacks with legally non-conforming use. Have you read this language? Do you have a recommendation to prevent that?
I have not read the language. I didn't receive the packet for today's meeting. But following along in kind of my general knowledge of planning and zoning, I do think you can place a condition on the approval if you would like. So you would say, I approve with the condition of X, Y, or Z, whatever you're seeking to do.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense. I think that's what the language says now. It's the condition that it can only be at 25%.
That should satisfy your concern.
Yeah, I think we want to ensure that there is no expansion in the non-conforming area. I mean, right now, it would come to us if they want to expand into that. I don't know.
Is that just?
I think you can make that condition more express if you wanted to say exactly what you just said, that no expansion shall be included into the non-conforming area.
Maybe that's just the language you add to that?
I feel like it's simpler to delete it.
me too.
Because any other variance would come to us, and if they want to expand, my stupid thing, if they want to expand D, right, that's expanding into the setback, that would just be a variance.
Yes.
Yeah,
So I don't think we need to worry
I don't
about
think so.
percentages and all that confusion.
yeah, that's confusing.
No.
So if we remove the language, is that the best course to? I'm trying to make it simpler. Yeah, I'm trying to.
Well,
make it
it's gonna come back to us anyway,
Yeah.
right? I mean, if they're conforming, even though it's a non-conforming lot, and they would add, and they're not in the setbacks or whatever else,
Yeah, it would
then,
It would come to
come
us.
to us as a
Yeah.
variance.
yeah.
I got, maybe just a comment and a question there. On that, to me, it's a little bit, depends upon who the lawyer is, how they interpret that particular
Yeah,
section there as far as your maximum expansion, whether it be in the non-conforming. I could kind of argue that it would be the whole of the building.
Right.
Or I could argue that it would be just be the area just within the non-conforming area.
yeah.
So it might be best just to strike the language and let them come, and if it's in a non-conforming area, you say no,
Yeah.
if you don't want.
Yeah, unless there's a hardship,
There
right?
you
Like,
go.
what if there's a cliff on the west side, like,
Yeah.
if C is a cliff, and they can only expand in D, like, we would consider it
Yeah, just like any other.
any other variance.
Like any other, yeah.
Yeah, just strike it and have them,
Yeah, I
if they're
think
wanting
just leave
to
it out.
propose something, then
Yeah. That would be I like that,
Okay,
so.
is there a recommendation to council then?
make a motion to strike the language pertaining, where is it here? Section 54-8-127, non-conforming use and structure, I.
Okay. We have a motion to strike the language, recommendation to council, a motion to recommend to council, excuse me, the striking of 54-127, non-conforming uses and structures, letter I.
I guess the whole thing, right?
Yeah, I would be, 1, 2, 3, 4 falls underneath I, so I think you covered it there.
Second.
Motion and second. Discussion? All right, let's move to a roll call vote.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner McElina,
Aye.
Commissioner Rigsby,
Aye.
Commissioner Byers,
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly,
Aye.
and Commissioner Eby.
Aye.
Motion passes. Awesome. Chris, anything else on those comments? If not, we can move to community development report.
No, that sounds good. I'll go ahead and draft the language for the ordinance, work with the attorneys to get this in front of council.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sweet, let's move to our next item, community development report. I don't know if we had a session since we've congratulated you on your new role?
No, sir.
Congrats on the new role, well-deserved.
Yeah.
We're glad to have you,
From the right
Chris.
to the left.
Yeah, exactly.
Get a cake?
I did not get a cake, and nobody without my staff, so thank you to staff on helping me with prepare this, and every single day with our different sub-departments. I'd also like to recognize Cole Vetter. Here today, he's an intern that's been helping us out for the past month, and he's been really great with another intern, Sophia Aurora, who's out today or the rest of this week. They've been really great. And so I believe there's some other announcements, potentially with Sophia Aurora when they become official, but we'll wait until that happens.
Well, Cole, I hope you're learning a lot.
Yeah.
Good. Awesome. And congrats again, Chris.
Appreciate it, thank you.
What's going on in community development that this board should know about?
Excellent. So we have moved on, transitioned to a new website for permitting processes called MyGov. And we've been in the process of getting that started, implementing it. And it's, there are some good points, there are some points that need to be worked out, some bugs. So with all new types of transitions and applications, it does have its growing pains. So right now we're using that for all our business registrations and permits involving signage, garage sales, things like that. We haven't moved on yet to utilize the building permits, since that is the most complicated part of the permitting process. And so we've been defaulting to our previous application, which is CityWorks. So I'd just like to make you all aware that we are in that process as well. And
Sorry, question
Yeah,
on that.
sure.
Will there be, or is this maybe a process question?
and it might be for only a subset of the population. If folks want to identify, comment, make, or report an ordinance violation specifically around building, somebody's putting up a carport illegally, that there's not a permit visible, et cetera, will they be able to do that through MyGov, or is it still best to email you or somebody from your
So
staff?
currently, email or phone call is the best and only way to get that recorded.
Okay.
And that would be an excellent addition to the MyGov process. Part of the issues we've been having with MyGov is the flexibility to implement new things like that.
Gotcha.
But that's a very good point to have.
Is MyGov going to be the only way you can permit certain things?
So the intent, yes. So I believe we wanted to get things streamlined onto one platform and generally 99% online, so that all permits, all questions, the submitting of payments is all done through a website portal. And of course, customer service, always necessary. So if anybody's having issues, we would definitely step in and help them fill out the applications and walk them through it. But we do want to get that to be 100% as much online.
I guess that's my concern, is customer service to the people that we serve.
So absolutely, we will never stop being that person-to-person help for our applicants. And so part of the process is getting, first of all, a very clear instruction manual, so that people seeing this application for the first time will be able to work through it, and then also have our contact information readily available so they could call in. And the way that it's functioning now, 50% of everything, because it's growing pains, is going through Jessica Janopoulos, actually, who is our administrative assistant. And if we have not introduced Jessica Janopoulos officially yet, she has been with us for approximately 3 months now, and she heads the front desk, and she's been excellent with customer service.
Okay.
Thanks, Chris. What else?
So we have, we're trying to make some moves with the 911 addressing project that has been on hold for the past few years primarily because of disaster recovery. But the company we're working with, consulting group Datamark, we do have weekly meetings. I have weekly meetings with them, but now I'm trying to get this move forward. And eventually, I'm going to bring to Heath and village manager and the rest of the administration the idea of fully getting this on track and resurrected, so that we can become fully compliant with the 911 messaging requirements and take care of a lot of the redundancies in street names, Racket Court versus Racket Street, if there's something like that. But those kinds of scenarios exist, so we want to make sure that there's no confusion and do this in a very priority intent way, as well as simple as much as we can for the residents. But my goal is to have the full plan in place for implementation by this fall, and hopefully get started completely by winter, the very first of the year, 2027.
Okay. Awesome. Are we just using the same plan that we had in place previously?
It'll be working off of that. The prioritization will most likely be different, because I believe we started with Sutterth or Highway 70, which I think is done, and then moved on to Sutterth, and I believe that's where it stalled.
Yeah.
So I think we probably will take a look at that and correct any mistakes that were there, because people do have double addressing at the moment in some spots. So we'll take care of those redundancies. And then I think we're looking to not focus on Sutterth right now, except for the mistakes, and really go after the same names. So primarily looking at this from a public safety perspective more than anything else.
And we've talked about this in the past, but it's been a while. Say you said Racket Drive versus Racket Court. I own a property on Racket Drive. Is it just striking the end? Is it renaming the whole street?
It would be renaming the whole street.
Okay.
So there's complete differentiation between names.
Okay, so it would be pickleball court versus
Potentially, yes.
racket drive, if you will. Okay.
That could be a bit confusing too, but yes.
Well, and I was thinking there's Knob and Knob Hill. That's,
What about directional streets? I live on North Mountain View. There is a Mountain View or a Mountain Street, I think. There might not be a view.
So that would also be, so that is part of the recommendations by this consultation group and the 911 messaging is to get, to change completely any directional streets that have similar names or the suffixes that are different, but the beginning of the word is the same.
Are those changes going to affect title requirements? Generally, when stuff is recorded, it's got a legal description, but it's also with an address. If your address changes, does that mean you have to now go fix that in the county court records, or how's that going to work?
So the legal description, like you said, will not change. And if the only part of that for the deed and the title is the legal description that is valid when it comes to the real property itself. So no, the titles would not have to be changed.
Yeah, I'm just clarify that.
That's important, yeah.
That's kind of important.
We do, it does definitely
My title
anticipate.
has my address and the legal description.
Only if the legal description changes for some reason, replatting, combination of lots, splitting, would the deed be changed on that. It is definitely a touchy subject because nobody likes to have their address changed, at the will of another entity. Suddenly you get a letter saying that we're changing your street name, so we'll have to get in contact with P&M, utilities, post office, and get all that, and everything's kind of mixed up for a while. I believe we're looking at the contract with Datamark to see how much of that they do handle, because we want to definitely hold them to as much as they're responsible for, but I believe part of that is the outreach to utility companies, postal service, and things of that sort.
FedEx, UPS.
Awesome. What else? I see we added another couple of tables to our report. Current MyGov status along with code enforcement. I don't think we've had code enforcement.
I don't think so either.
So the code enforcement subdepartment as well, and we've added a new subdepartment fire marshal as well. So that's expanded the role or in-department responsibilities of the community development department. So with code enforcement, just like to point out that we've been focusing on blighted properties, nuisance properties. Of course, the clean and lean and those types of projects are in our purview as well. And those are being handled and with updates at city council as well. But with, we do receive daily calls regarding questions into unpermitted work, for example, or structures that are blighted. We got thistles, things like that. So wanted to bring to the attention to the commission that we have been addressing those on a daily basis, going out to the properties and rectifying where necessary, and submitting red tags when appropriate as well, and making sure that we're holding property owners responsible to the ordinances, especially when it's brought to our attention.
Cool.
I noticed that the, Country Club, Tree Meadow, that they were contacted, and what's the status of that? I'm just curious.
As far as the code enforcement, yes, so we had some inquiries into that it's becoming blighted property, particularly thistles, down trees, things like that. So I did contact the owners of, that are overseeing the property, and basically made moves to get them into compliance. It is a large property and it's in flux right now with potential sales and things of that sort. So we are willing to work with them as well as like we work with anybody in the community. So the owners have hired landscaping crews to get the thistles cut down, and also to get the tree branches that have fallen from the winter storm up, get them to the side of the road. as well as the construction materials that are behind the tea house. Those are being removed also, and then the boarded up windows and the general blighted nature of the clubhouse is to be mitigated with painting, just treated as a vacant building, basically. No vacant permit is necessary because they are still using the building, but it is blighted from the outside, so painting of the plywood, covering the windows completely and removing any of that torn Tyvek and building material that's there. And they have provided proof that they are moving forward with getting this done. And as long as they continue to stick with it, we're welcoming that so they can get this together.
Cool. Thanks, Chris.
You're welcome.
Other questions for Chris?
Oh, I got some.
Okay.
Just a couple explanations on a few things. You're showing a chart here with the NOAA radios. What's that in relation to, and what do the numbers mean?
I must have missed that.
On page 85,
Here.
88,
89.
89.
Short-term rentals have to have one in
So,
each rental.
Okay, so are these the numbers that are installed, or what's the significance of the numbers in the chart?
So I'll defer to Chrisanti Jones on this.
So each month, Jessica is tracking the number of NOAA radios that we have sold for that month.
Oh, so it's
Some of them are going in primary, like, locals, but I'd say 98% of those, if not more, are going into short-term rentals because it is a requirement for them to pass their inspection.
Okay, so that adds to my other question of, okay, let's assume out of those 627 total, let's say 500 of them are short-term rentals. We've got over 1,300 short-term rentals, so does that mean 800 are non-compliant?
No, sir, they are not required to purchase those radios from the Village of Ruidoso.
But it is part of the annual inspection to
Correct.
see that they have them?
Yes.
Okay, that answers that one. The other one, just on talking about short-term rentals, I know I talked a little bit to Christie about it. We're looking, as I said, with the transition with the new software, I would like to be able to see in our report and also to be able to go to council is some type of KPI that tracks the number of uncategorized or unlicensed short-term rentals and the number we're either sending letters out to each month or also changing to know what that status is. Simple math.
Right.
Say we have 500 unlicensed short-term rentals still in the village. Simple math, low rental rate, that generates about $500,000 a year in lodger's tax. Okay, that's money we're not collecting, that's money we can't use to fund things like Ironman or Xterra, and that's something that I would like to see it get us to the point where we know when you get to the final number of how many short-term rentals, that those are it. Not that we've got 1,300 and we got 500 we don't know the status of.
Right.
And there's got to be a way to track that. It'll not only give us confidence knowing that, things are changing, but it's going to give, more importantly, the governing body a snapshot, what it is month to month. We need to communicate that. I know it's changing positively, but you need to have the stats to be able to just show that. It's like Christie had mentioned, sent out, 30 letters the other day? Well, does anybody on council know we sent out 30 letters of non-compliance? If it's in this packet,
We sent out over 100, and they are working on a dashboard to where that information can be provided for the manager's report for council, and it will be coming to you guys as well. We sent out,
It was about 100?
it was over 100.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna say
closer to
150.
200 letters that went out last week. And I'm already getting phone calls and getting people registered. So they're getting compliant, and just for clarification, just because they're not registered with us doesn't mean we don't get their lodger's tax. Because if they go through Airbnb and VRBO, those two entities automatically send to us. So it won't be an addition of $500,000 or potentially $500,000. It could be more or it could be less. But we are already getting the majority of that lodger's tax sent to us.
yeah, I just do simple math.
Thanks.
So I'll work on that. I'll get with Deckard. We've So Deckard, Rentalscapes, same company, different subparts of the company, have been very good in working with us. And so I don't foresee an issue getting that for you.
It just needs, like I said, the intent is to show we're making progress. Because that's important. When you get to the governing body, they get all the grief. We don't get the grief here. I mean, Christie probably gets a lot of the grief. But the point is if you can show progress and they have bullet points or things they can say, hey, this is where we're going to, this is what we're doing, we've made this much progress. I just think that's just important. It's just an informational thing, and if we get to the point where it's available, do that. And-
That information is something that they're almost done to where they can launch it for us. They've been showing the progress on getting it all configured so that they can accurately provide that information to us. And again, with the data cleanup, that'll make it a lot easier for them to provide that information.
And that's that. And then the last one, I talked a little bit to Chris. I've already told Heath about the clean and lean on that 107 Ponderosa and the address thing there, that the house has a different address than what's. It's not? 105 isn't? Neither one. That's interesting, because there's a notice there.
We can follow up.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, either one, as I said, because 107 is an empty lot.
Other questions for Chris in the Community Development Office? I ask at every meeting. The development on Meacham, 623, right? Is that the address?
603.
603. I'm gonna get it right one day.
So there's definitely news and there's definitely movement on that. And hopefully, Heath, if maybe you could speak to that a bit. You have some of the latest information.
Yeah, so 603, Unit C, which is right there when you drive in, it's the first one on the left, or the right, I mean. So we did finally figure out where the water was coming from. It's coming off the driveway and off of the roof. It just happens to be pooling right there where the meter's at and allowing the water to go underneath the house. So we were able to get a curb and gutter put in to help direct that water away from the property. Levi's also got a change order that the council will be approving next week for Rhinemark to go in and make some other additions, adding gutters to that property in particular to help get more of that water away. So that way then we can get that property cleared, get a meter installed, and then be one step closer. They are also in the process of doing curb and gutter for the rest of the property. If you've driven by, you've seen they've got the road kind of bladed up where they're getting ready to do curb and gutter. Once the curb and gutter is finished with the rest of the property, then they will go in and do asphalt overlay in there. They'll also be doing asphalt, a change order for doing asphalt for the driveways. That was left out initially, so they will be doing asphalt for the driveways, as well as doing some other updates for the two older cabins that are still not finished yet. So new doors for those facilities, so.
It's been going on how long?
2 years.
2 years. Is that road gonna be a public road now? Is that a different, because it's 603 is the property name.
It's basically a glorified driveway.
Okay. Okay,
It's not gonna be an actual public road. It's basically a driveway.
sounds good.
I think the units are like
A,
A,
B,
B, C.
Yes,
yeah.
A through K.
And it's all 603 or whatever.
Correct, yeah.
Sounds good. All right, thanks, Heath. I appreciate it. Well, let me add timeline. Are they gonna start doing some of them?
So it's all happening at the same time. Yeah, 2 weeks. That's been our running joke for the last few months now. So I would hope that,
Before school starts?
yes, I would hope
Okay.
that before school starts, we should be able to have those open.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Any other questions for the Development Office? Seeing none, we'll move to Commissioner comments.
Hey, you know, the first case we had today,
Yeah,
hasn't he come before us multiple times and was a no-show?
Mr. Daly,
No, Mr.
Yeah, the very
Tim
first
Moore.
case, A.
the one on Brady Canyon, I don't
Yeah.
believe so. We skipped the last meeting, and then I think this was his first opportunity to come present to us.
Okay.
I thought he was, or at least that same lot was on the agenda before and then they pulled it.
Not to my knowledge.
No, I don't remember it that way.
Because I've gotten 2 notifications on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
2, because it was postponed from the June
Yeah.
okay.
rescheduled meeting.
The notifications were different, like the first one showed a diagram of the house and things, and the second one didn't.
So I'll have to see, exactly the letter. But,
Actually, you know what, I think the difference was this time, the person, the Boer is his last name? He's the builder, is that right?
he's a builder, and
He's the owner?
and he's potentially buying the lot.
Okay, because I think the first time it was maybe under a different name, and I was thinking that was the owner, and this time it was the builder, but I don't know.
So we have added to the notification letters that go out more information that shows any kind of building plans or diagrams, or lot size attached to the letter itself. And so I believe the first time it went out, it did not have that. So there was there are additions to the letters.
I guess.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
that answers your question, Ron?
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess.
yeah, because I thought I had seen it before.
Yeah, I guess the other question would be it's more procedural, is if you get, unless you pull it, but you had the opportunity to be here, and you said he was gonna be here and chose to be here and not here, can we still rule on it, or do we have to wait for the applicant to make a presentation? Or if the applicant chooses not to represent themselves, do we just rule on what's in the packet? It's just a question,
I think procedurally we can rule on it.
I don't know,
So I believe Chairman Risby is correct. You could still hear the case with what's presented in the packet and make a ruling.
Okay, I didn't know, that's why I asked, I mean, I just hate to see him keep coming back, it just adds to the.
Right, well, should we be making a motion on those? Because what if that's what he wanted us to do, and now he's having to wait a whole nother month?
We don't know because he's not here, so
I know, so I'm saying, should we anyway?
Well, I'm open to, my default is if nobody's here, we shouldn't, because we can't get all of our questions answered.
Yeah, no,
But I do think it's in our right to say yes or no on something, but I don't think it's a fair, full process for the folks involved.
well, I would think, as I said, if they.
Ron's wanting us to get more billable hours for Jessica. Jessica, thank you for being a good sport on that recurring joke that's probably getting old.
It's only twice, you're okay still.
Yeah. Do you have a comment? Like, if there's an applicant that's not present, do we legally have the right to rule on it?
If you have properly noticed it for a public hearing, like you did for the applicant, that was first on your list today, you can certainly conduct that public hearing. You would still open it up, take testimony in the same way as if the applicant was there, if there were any, neighbors or anyone else that wanted to offer an opinion about it, as well as hearing the staff report, and then you could make that decision. It's legally appropriate to do that, and whether or not this commission decides to do that is certainly within your discretion.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice. Yeah, exactly. Give them a benefit of the
Yeah,
doubt.
I mean, like I said, as long as it's not a habit,
Yeah.
if it comes up next month and he's not here, then that's more than enough.
I guess
leniency.
on that, do we, I'm sure you do. When somebody comes with a variance, do you help them understand the ordinance, the barrier that we have to?
Absolutely. So when I get a inquiry regarding anything that I'll see if it actually, the process is, I'll see if it actually defaults to a planning commission decision. And if it does, we definitely have a meeting. I have a meeting face-to-face or over the phone, Zoom with the client, and have them state their request completely, and we go through the procedure, let them know what the timeline would be, review similar cases so they have a full understanding of that process as well. And then given the opportunity to get the application in at that point, or sometimes this requires full surveys, things of that sort. Let them know what kind of monetary cost this may be to them as well, and go forward. So try to make a full relation of what is going to be required and what to expect.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, like I said, I just asked the question, just, I don't want to waste anybody's time and having.
Totally get that.
You know,
Other,
hear the same thing or again and again, that type of stuff.
other comments, questions from commission? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second. Let's do by voice. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes. We are adjourned. Thank you all.
Bye, guys.